This is Loch Rannoch in Perthshire in Scotland, and this is one of my favourite places in the world. I used to come here a lot as a child, and this is the very spot that 12 years ago I got engaged to my wife Kirsty. So this place has very special meaning to me, and today is all about running. I'm here in Rannoch today to run the half marathon, and this will be my first half marathon in about 18 months. It will also only be my fourth ever running race. I've done 2 half marathons and 1 marathon prior to this, so I am by no means a seasoned runner. But I'm going into today's race with a great deal of trepidation, largely because 6 weeks ago I had COVID for the 4th time, and it was probably the worst time I've ever had COVID. So I've only had about 5 proper weeks of training, and it's taken me a while to get over the fatigue. My natural instinct is to try and push myself as hard as I possibly can to get my best possible time. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to take it gently. I'm going to try not to set off too quickly and just enjoy this beautiful scenery. The nerves I had at the start of the race were compounded by my self-consciousness. I'm a middle-aged man carrying a selfie stick and wearing lycra. I've slowly morphed into the kind of person I would have rolled my eyes at only a few years previously. I find the opening to any race a little strange. I'm adjusting to the environment, trying to find my pace, and also not get carried away by the occasion. And yet there is something beautiful about these smaller running events. For a start, there's space, so you're not tripping over each other. But everyone is courteous and happy. It's a really good atmosphere. Saying that, there is an eerie silence at the start of these races. Runners are conserving their energy, and all you can really hear is the rhythmic pounding of the shoes on the road. So it felt even more jarring when I broke this silence and started speaking to the camera.
3 kilometres. Pace about 4:40, about where we expect to be right now.
All being well, I would hope to run this half marathon in about 1 hour 45 minutes, a pace of just under 5 minutes per kilometre. I've set off a little bit quicker than planned. This may be due to my brand new pair of Nike Alphaflys, which I'm wearing today for only the 2nd time. I've owned 2 pairs previously, and they just make me faster. Amazing shoes. Amazingly expensive too.
5 kilometres. Just over 23 minutes. Doing okay so far. 1/4 of the race done. Another 3 to go. It surely has to be one of the most beautiful places to run in the world. This course is absolutely stunning, and at this time of year as well. Absolutely beautiful.
As the miles passed, my race chat began to become more and more inane. I'm either struggling to chat to the camera due to energy expenditure, or have no idea how to provide interesting commentary. Either way, very little that comes out of my mouth during this race is of any interest.
5 miles, 8 kilometres.
I had arranged for my younger son Tom to give me a sports drink at mile 5, but I can see he's not by the roadside. I start beckoning him over quickly, or else I'm going to miss my chance of grabbing the drink.
Thanks, Tom.
The course route is an out and back along the south coast of the loch. You're rarely ever more than a few feet away from the edge of the water, which does make it incredibly picturesque.
Thank you. We've done 10 kilometres, just over 10 kilometres. 46 minutes, 50 seconds. Not quite halfway, but close enough. So the route now just goes back the same way that we just come. It's going to be a tough 11 kilometres. But I am enjoying it.
Pace-wise, I'm faster than I was anticipating, and I'm feeling good. This is either going to lead to me blowing up over the next 11 kilometres, or I will surprise myself with my time.
I always like the halfway point, because you know how far you've gone. I'm going to do the same again. I just find it's a good yardstick for how much effort you have to put into the second half.
Just after the halfway mark, my older son Jack gives me a gel. It's probably not needed for a half marathon, but it's a habit I picked up in training, and I find it does give you a wee boost. It's perhaps more psychological than anything.
So my competitive nature's kicked in. I'm running faster than I anticipated. So I want to push it, see what time I can get. So much for taking it easy. I'm just enjoying the run.
And there it is. I just can't help myself. But really, what is the point in ambling when you feel like you can go faster? This is a race, and since I'm feeling pretty good, I'm prepared to push myself as hard as I can.
Coming up from mile 9, 4 to go. Getting to the point where it's all out effort.
I do find there is something really beautiful about the half marathon distance. At the point where it gets really hard, you know deep down there's not too much further to go. It's a hard challenge, but unlike, say, the marathon distance, you can still walk the next day.
17 kilometers, 4 to go. This is where the lack of training is really hitting. Oh man. Come on. Thank you. That was nice. That's where I got engaged 12 years ago. 12 miles. 1 mile to go.
As the course comes back to the end of the loch, the final stretch is a loop back round to the start line. The last mile of any race is always the hardest.
20 kilometers. 1 to go. The end is in sight. Well done.
Although this is only my 4th ever running race, it's the 2nd time I've run the Loch Rannoch Half Marathon. There is something very special about running in this beautiful location that means so much to me. After a painful last couple of miles, I crossed the finish line in 1 hour, 37 minutes and 47 seconds. Significantly faster than I was expecting to run, but a good 4.5 minutes outside my personal best. I can probably credit my new shoes with my unexpected time. I learnt a valuable lesson from this race. The experience is the most important thing to take away from any running event. I only ever run to compete with myself, to try and better my previous performances. But sometimes it's okay to not even do this. You don't always have to seek improvement and to perform at your absolute best. Just taking part is enough. Running around the shores of Loch Rannoch in these stark autumn colours made me wonder if there was any other running event in the world as beautiful as this. And I'm not sure there is.